once he started not being as available for basketball, then we started bringing on some guys that are actually still with us today. Mm-hmm. So that's a blessing. They worked with us out of our home, and they're still going strong with us, helping us train the new guys that come in. So yeah, they help out tremendously. But it was definitely it was a necessity. We just got tired, right?
Yeah.
At first, you're loving making all the money and doing all the work yourself and the independence, and then you just get tired. You say, okay, somebody else got to come help us pick this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
the deciding factor was graduation. We literally did not know what we were getting into. We sold out of everything that we had. We put up all of our tents, just the two of us, and we were so tired. We just got in the bed fully dressed. And the next morning, we just got right up and went back out and started.
Wow. That's insane.
Yes,
that's crazy.
It was a lot.
Welcome to Peer Talk, a dialogue with business owners just like you. Peer Talk conversations run the gamut of business challenges facing owners today. The host of Peer Talk is Dan Crowley, founder and owner of Peer Executive Groups, which provides a safe space for owners to share their experience, grow their businesses, and learn from their peers.
Hi, this is Dan Crowley. We have a number of great owners in our peer group network, just like you, and our job is to give you a voice here on Peer Talk. Peer Tech is a proud sponsor of Peer Talk. Are your results actionable? View your industry data like never before. Gain insights, view real-time KPIs, drive growth, unlock potential. When you join Peer Tech, your data drives decisions. Peer benchmarking allows you to see your data like never before. Why be satisfied with incomplete data when clear, responsive, real-time trends could be yours? Now is the time to start making insightful, data-driven decisions for your business. Peer Tech. Today's guests on Peer Talk are Tony and Katrina Magby from Rent the Occasion in Atlanta, Georgia. A great story. Started their business in 2016 after being laid off from two corporate positions. Tony was project manager for Cisco Systems, and Katrina was an insurance agent with American Family Insurance. Their combined skills jumped them into event planning, and Katrina went ahead and attended Emory to obtain an event planning certification to better understand the business, and away they went into their entrepreneurial journey with Rent the Occasion. Well, welcome to another episode of Peer Talk. Today we have Tony and Katrina Magby from Rent the Occasion down in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Welcome, you two.
Thank you.
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to speak with you. I know I see you on occasion. I get to some of your peer group meetings on occasion. I was glad you came to Philadelphia one time, so that was nice. You're able to visit our locale. But today we want to hear about your company and hear about your origin story and how you got into the business. So why don't we go back first, Katrina, let's talk about your career and what you were doing, let's say up until about 5 years ago when you guys decided to make the leap. So Katrina, you go first.
Okay, I have been in sales since I graduated from college. So the last, I'll just say the most recent positions I had, I was a captive agent with American Family Insurance, selling all lines of insurance policies. And then once I left there, I worked with a pharmaceutical company for a little while as well. So I've always been in sales.
Excellent. That's very cool. And then now, I never asked this question. How did you guys meet?
We met in college at Tennessee State University in Nashville.
Nice. Tennessee State. What's their name of their team there?
Oh, the Tigers.
The Tigers. Tennessee State Tigers. Excellent. Yeah, we have we obviously tied to University of Tennessee, but not Tennessee State. So it's good to know. Tennessee State Tigers. And so, Tony, tell us about your origin. What did you do when you came out of college and got to work?
All right. So I graduated from college with a computer science degree. Went out to Motorola, worked out there for 3 years in Arizona. And then we moved back to Georgia start a family. So I was in engineering for about 20 years before I decided to, I actually got laid off. But
wow, 20 years. Holy cow. That's a long time.
Yeah.
20 years in software. When I left, I was a software development project manager at Cisco Systems.
That's amazing. And so we'll probably get into that a little bit about, obviously, as you see event rental change, you're going to be working in more project management than ever before as you move forward with, bigger and bigger opportunities, right? So that's pretty cool. Excellent. And so we get to like 2015, 16, 17, you've got kids now and you're both working, and then you decide to make this leap into entrepreneurship. So let's hear from you a little bit about what that was.
Our leap was actually kind of like I guess it was a combination of, we were looking for another opportunity, but at the same time, both of us were laid off. Mm-hmm. So to create an opportunity for ourselves in order to keep going. So failure was never an option for us. So we just kept it going. And we noticed that in our surrounding area that there were not any rental stores. So we were having to drive quite a bit of ways just to rent tables and chairs, just for personal parties that we had. So that's kind of how we started. We just bit the bullet and said, hey.
To be honest, we kind of had a plan, Dan. I knew the layoff was coming, and I wasn't going anywhere without that severance package. So
there you go.
When the severance package came, we were kind of ready, and just so happened we went to the ARA show down in Orlando. What was that, 2017?
17.
And 2 weeks after we got back from the ARA show, I got laid off and got my severance package, and we got to buying some equipment.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. And what's interesting is you didn't know the industry, but you kind of saw the gap.
Right.
So that's amazing. And when you think about Georgia and, what's the distance from Lawrenceville down to, downtown Atlanta?
Well, depending on the time of day.
Yeah.
If it's early in the morning, we might be able to get down there in 30 minutes. But in traffic, that's an hour and a half.
But again, the reason why I bring that up is your market has been through amazing growth. I don't know if you knew, I used to work in Norcross, Georgia back in the 20 years ago. And I've been down there visiting, and it's amazing how different everything is. But again, that shows that the market was ready to bear more event rental. And there wasn't the suppliers to provide it. So good for you guys for identifying that. And classically, like, you're both obviously been to school, worked in, high-powered roles and responsibilities, project management, things like that. So did you actually create a business plan, or did you say, I know about that, but I don't want to do that?
We actually did do a bit of a business plan.
Oh, cool.
A bit of a go-to-market strategy and that type of thing in order for us to survive. We didn't really look at it as to get, really big. We just wanted to survive at first. And now that we realize the potential of the business, now we're looking more towards some growth.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. And I think I met you guys in 2018 or 19? Didn't you come to like an event at the area of Georgia or something?
Yes, we did. I think it was that, what was the name of that construction company?
It was a construction company.
Oh, yeah. It was Vermeer.
Yeah, Vermeer. Yeah, I met you out there at Vermeer. So I saw first that reminded me of some project management stuff, KPIs and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was big on the metrics at that point, and I know I was drowning people with data, which I'm starting to get better at. So, hopefully George will have me back. Hint, hint. Because I've toned down my presentation to not be too data centric, but I do enjoy my metrics, that's for sure. But you guys had just started up. I remember meeting you and saying, wow, they've got, the world up against them. hopefully it all works out. And sure enough, it looks like it has. So congrats on that. And you guys are, tell me about your asset categories. What did you start with when you started in 17, 18, and how has that evolved over time?
All right, so we started with probably about 20 tables and 300 chairs, and
we had some cocktail tables.
And we got a couple of tents from an auction.
An auction, yeah.
They're just a couple of 10 by 10s and a couple of 16 by 16s, and
we had some linens. We only had black and white linens.
Yeah.
That was
wow.
it.
And we started in the basement. We started out of the basement and prayed that the neighbors would be tolerant of us.
That's amazing. That's crazy. And, and that shows, to everybody out there, it's never too late, right? You guys just started 5 years ago. So good for you guys. And then you obviously learned the industry as you went. Some of the resources you claim, so you went down to the ARA show, and I guess that was the one in Orlando, right? So proximity wasn't too bad.
No, so definitely presentation from, I think his name is David Magby.
Oh, yeah.
Telling us how to get our Google AdWords and that type of thing going, things to put on our website, and working with SEO and stuff like that. That definitely helped us with our marketing and get us off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember him. I was in touch with him way back, and I haven't really reached out in a while. I'm going to have to shout out to him. I'm going to give you a call so we could talk more about what you provide for our members. So absolutely be great. And then, seeing you, so you moved from those assets. What have you expanded to now? Like, what's your thing right now that you enjoy in terms of some of the new assets you have?
We expanded quite a bit. Like, we are into Chiavari chairs, we're into bigger tents, more linens. I always joke and tell my husband I have a love affair with linens, any color fabric I want it. And he's always like, oh no, let's look at the numbers. Let's look. But we really kind of specialize in backyard parties, probably less than about 500 people. The weddings, we're big into weddings, and we are and the little kid parties, we're branching off into that because we're seeing, there's a big market for that.
So are you going to do some inflatables with that or no?
Right now we just have one, but we offer the nice kid chairs and tables and linens, and that's kind of more so what a lot of people get from us. So I think we are going to eventually get one or two inflatables, but it's really more so for, the party decor.
So how does your community find you? So Lawrenceville is kind of an interesting town. Are you on the main drag and they see your signage, or is it something where they've discovered you online when they're looking for a solution?
It's primarily through the web, through Google. Get a lot of referrals now. Since we've been around a while, we get a lot of referrals from people that have went to other parties where people have used our services.
That's great.
One of the things that really sticks out about us on Google is our 5-star rating. So we got a lot of good reviews from our customers.
Very cool. Very nice. And so which one of you is more predisposed to do that kind of marketing? Is more like you enjoy that piece?
Well, I say I'm the one that's mostly into that, looking at the numbers there and, trying to relate the data to who we're marketing to. So I guess that would be me.
Got it.
And then Trevor is more on the website side. So she does most of the adding of the pictures and adding of the content to social media and that type of thing.
Oh, very cool. And so, I was going to ask you, how would you break out, thinking about the org chart of Rent the Occasion? How does that work right now? Who does what role? How responsibility wise? How do you break that out?
I do the sales and procurement I'm sorry, procurement. Sorry. Mostly Tony does like the staffing and the operation portion of it. So we're kind of good with how we manage our parts, our different parts, and we kind of don't overlap very much.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Who does the financial controls and bookkeeping? Is that an outside service or one of you?
Tony.
Yeah, that would be me. Yeah, I'm all over.
He's a numbers guy. He's the numbers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. I enjoy that too. I've been entrepreneurial in different ways, and I always love that getting that QuickBooks up and running, and then eventually seeing like numbers and going, wow, look, our sales are better than our costs for once. Right?
There we go.
So, okay. So, and then have you gotten to that point? You're at the 5-year mark. Do you see the importance of debt and using debt to help you acquire inventory? Are you starting to do more like, let's get a loan out and let's go do this?
That is one thing that we could probably do a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, probably I don't know if it's to our detriment or to our advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we went to school in Nashville, so Dave Ramsey's from there. And there's no debt stuff is kind of stuck in our head a bit. We did take out a bit of a loan just to see how it would affect our business, and I would say that it helped us a bit. But we just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, because I guess we've been conditioned since college with Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
We probably need to go more of the Robert Kiyosaki way, but we're just so focused on owning our stuff, like just don't have debt. Like we have one thing of debt. So
yeah, I appreciate that actually. That's great. I mean, heck, if you can grow organically and not have to take on the debt, that's, obviously that's the plan on paper. I find that, a numbers guy, I was focusing on the cost of money and how inexpensive money was. And my goodness, if I can get a return on that money that covers the cost, then it'd be worth making that type of move. But I get it. And to be honest with you, now that we are in the position we are in as an economy and as a country, it gets a little nerve wracking because you're like, oh, we had it real easy there for about 7 years, 8 years, coming out of the last recession. But okay, very interesting. So how about your business? How is it going right now? Do you guys look at rate of change or see like, are our sales growing?
Yeah, so for the most part, sales have been growing over the last 2 quarters. This current quarter, we haven't seen the growth that we were seeing before. We were growing 30% year over year. That would have been January through June.
Wow.
And we were flat in July and August. We were flat in July and August. July, we blame it on vacations. Right. August, we don't quite know what happened, but September, we're back on track to be 30% growth year.
Wow, that's awesome. Very cool. And you guys joined, when did you join a peer group? Was it 2019 or 20 or?
I believe we just started last year.
Oh, 21.
Meeting was in, our first meeting was in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? That was your first meeting? That's when I met everybody. Yep. Oh, that's neat. So yeah, your group is definitely established itself very quickly. How do you feel about the group so far? You've had a year of experience with it.
We're enjoying it.
Love it.
We like the relationships that we've built with our teammates. Everyone seems to get along really well. We get some really good stories and knowledge sharing between everyone. And so yeah, we're enjoying it.
What's your primary way of communicating with those individuals? Is it via email, or are you guys using like a GroupMe or WhatsApp or something?
We're on GroupMe.
GroupMe, got it.
And then every now and then we'll make phone calls to individually. Mm-hmm.
And do you have? I know you meet in person twice a year. Do you have Zoom calls or anything like that with your group?
Of course, we got
once
a
a month.
monthly call with
Once a month. Whoa, that's pretty. Don't let my groups know that.
Yep, with Ruth once a month.
Wow, that's great. That's great. And hopefully is there an advantage to hearing about businesses that might be a step ahead of you in terms of headcount and finding out what they did next or what you might have in front of you? Is that useful?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like it's so much information to learn in this business.
Yeah.
And of course, when we started, we had no idea. We were just kind of just trying to make it. But now it's like a different perspective for us because, we're looking at the numbers and we're like, hey, this month we can do this, but maybe next month we can't do this. Or maybe,
interesting.
Maybe we need to go forth and push this product more than the other product. And that's something that we were not thinking about initially. So it's really been, it has helped us tremendously.
Very cool. And the other thing I think would be useful for our listeners is to kind of hear about how you add that next person. So you guys started in 2017, and I'm sure it was just you two, and then you have probably had some help. And gosh, your kids are 19 and 15, you shared. So they're probably now working in the company, right, a little bit with you.
Yeah, so my son is in college now, so we kind of miss him, but we had him all the time when he was in high school.
Middle school, high school.
Yeah, so
wow, that's great.
All games and all of that stuff, he was definitely with us, but we're missing him. So once he started not being as available for basketball, then we started bringing on some guys that are actually still with us today. So that's a blessing. They worked with us out of our home, and they're still going strong with us, helping us train the new guys that come in. So yeah, they help out tremendously. But it was definitely a necessity. We just got tired, right? At first, you're loving making all the money and doing all the work yourself and the independence, and then you just get tired. You say, okay, somebody else got to come help us pick this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
the deciding factor was graduation weekend. We literally did not know what we were getting into. We sold out of everything that we had. We put up all of our tents, just the two of us, and we were so tired. We just got in the bed fully dressed. And the next morning, we just got right up and went back out and started.
Wow. That's insane.
Yes,
that's crazy.
It was a lot.
Yeah, that's the way to learn, right? Like, okay, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because now you're investing in employees. And so when you invest in employees, you gotta, you're not gonna make money right away. It's gonna take time. You're gonna, be freed up to generate more sales. They then are going to be useful on the back end or they're generating sales for you, right? So depending on if you're hiring for the front or hiring for installation. So that's got to be a challenge for you. So do you think about that? Like, what has it been like 2022 versus, obviously 20, you guys could everybody got crushed. You take it back down to bare minimum. But since 20, what does that look like? Like, how has if you're up to like 8 people working now, how does that, how did you get there and how do you know what to hire for next?
Okay, so it's kind of gradual, right?
Yeah.
We're lucky enough, I say, to be able to kind of forecast week by week and kind of cut off our ordering. So last year we actually turned down a lot of orders because of capacity, right? And realized we were renting vehicles a lot to try to do all of the work. So as we know certain months of the year we're going to be busier, but we don't want to have people on the payroll that are just sitting and not getting hours.
Yeah.
So we tend to attract an employee who's tolerant of the the variation in schedule from week to week. So we don't have let's say 40-hour-a-week employees, They some of them are part-time, they have other jobs, and some of them are full-time, but they're very tolerant. They're students of the schedule. You know, sometimes you're getting 20 hours and sometimes you're getting 50 hours.
Gotcha.
So when we're hiring, we are we're being very upfront with the people that we're with, but when they're here, we take really good care of them and are flexible with them on their schedules as well.
Got it. So your infrastructure as a company, we're going to talk about the future here in a sec because we have to wind down. But you, technology-wise, how are you managing? You have QuickBooks, and do you use anything else?
We use event rental systems.
Event rental systems. Okay, cool. And then you guys obviously are plugged into the internet, so you're focusing on social media and SEO, search engine optimization type things. So what does your future look like? So we're in 22. What's your plan for, 5 years ago you started. What's 5 years look like from now?
5 years. I will start by saying that we would like to move into a bigger warehouse.
Mm-hmm. So we just moved in a warehouse in March, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
wow.
So we made the step from the house to
this is our second warehouse.
Right. So we moved in a warehouse right in January of 20, and then March COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? So we stayed in that warehouse until this past March. We stayed in there for 2 years. So it got us through COVID. And so now we've doubled our warehouse size this year, but we just signed a 3-year lease, but we're pretty much full here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So in the next 3 years, we want to double our warehouse size again.
Yeah.
We'd like to get into more corporate events. We'd also like to tap the movie industry a bit here.
Sure.
But we have to, we got to get our staff in a situation where they're more comfortable with the way the movie industry works, right?
Sure.
The culture that we've kind of created now is really nice because we don't do a lot of after hours pickups or anything like that. I'm able to schedule people so they know when they're going to be working and when they're going to be off, which kind of makes it, which enables us to hold on to people for a longer period of time. Mm-hmm. Once they kind of get into our system, we don't really have a lot of churn once we find the good ones. So I don't know.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What's your next hire, you think? What's the next, if you're going to hire a key individual, what would be the next key role?
It would be someone answering the phone.
Hopefully we got them.
Yeah, we have someone that we just hired, so we have to train them up accordingly and get them started, get them going.
Awesome. Well, that's great. And, that's the whole point, right? Is especially if you've got access to the right people, then it's just a matter of getting them in the right seat, right? So the key would be, I always say, right people first, right seat second. Because if you look at peer groups, that's who we are. We move employees around. I just want the right people in the company working with me. So, but excellent. Well, it's good to hear. And so again, your market, Greater Lawrenceville and surrounding places. How far south do you go? How far north do you go? That kind of thing.
We work in a 50-mile radius.
Okay, 50 miles. Excellent.
Yeah. So. We did actually go 2 miles outside of our radius a couple of weeks ago. But we try to make sure that the job is worth it if we take that trip.
Sure. Well, you guys have a lot of skill set between the two of you. I have no doubt you're going to have tremendous success in this industry. So we're glad you're here, and we're glad you're part of Peer Executive Group. So Tony and Katrina Magby, thank you for joining us today on Peer Talk.
Having us.
Thank you, Dan.
All right.
Okay.
Peer Tech is a proud sponsor of Peer Talk. Are your results actionable? View your industry data like never before. Gain insights, view real-time KPIs, drive growth, unlock potential. When you join Peer Tech, your data drives decisions. Why be satisfied with incomplete data when clear, responsive, real-time trends could be yours? Now is the time to start making insightful, data-driven decisions for your business. Peer Tech.
You've been listening to Peer Talk from Peer Executive Groups, produced and directed by Noah Crowley and hosted by Dan Crowley. Subscribe to this podcast for notifications of future episodes of Peer Talk.